This smells really good. I guess that's a good thing. Okay. We're going to cool this down. Cool it now. Cool it down. If it's a cat, thick as chonk. That's true. Well, it's going to end up being more of a sauce. But I know it's going to get thick when it cools. But what did it say on here? It said, cook it just until, it says cook until the mixture thickens. Remove the custard to a large bowl, but it doesn't say how thick. Folks, this is why I don't bake. This is my first custard. During culinary school, when we had to make the custard tarts, and we were partnered up, I made the dough because that was something I figured I could handle, and I made Eddie Eddie made all the custards. I was not good at that. I was definitely not good at that. Well, it started to boil. It just started to boil when I pulled it off, because then it was starting to look like it was getting chunky. But this is like pudding almost. I'm just trying to get some of the steam to escape. My fiance is wanting me to get a setup, but I'm not sure which I'd need. I make a lot of tomato sauce. I want to store fresh veggies, just water and salt. You don't even have to put salt in. Salt is optional. Salt is for flavor only if you're canning like green beans, carrots, corn, and whatever. But for all your vegetables, you will need a pressure canner. Not a pressure cooker. You cannot can in an Instant Pot. I don't care what they tell you. You cannot can in an Instant Pot. I don't care what people tell you. Oh, I've been doing it now for a year. If they've eaten those products and they haven't gotten sick, they're very, very lucky. So you do need a pressure canner for your low acid foods and your veggies. And you might find, if you find one of them, Rose, I don't ask for addresses. I don't need, but what state are you in? Oh, right now, Kenara, I'm in state of inebriation. That's awesome. Let's go play together. Tennessee? Okay. Rose, send me a private message either on Discord or here in Twitch that just says extension/Tennessee, and I'm going to look up your local extension service for you. Because if you're going to buy, even if you buy a brand new pressure canner with a brand new gauge, you want to get that gauge tested. We've seen them be bad right out of the box, and that's the last thing you want. You want to definitely make sure that you have a good gauge that has been tested. As I say, if you were in Oregon, I could take care of that for you, but unfortunately, that's a long drive. Who tests the gauges? I do here. I test the gauges here and in my county, but they're usually done through certified master food preservers through an extension service, and they have to be trained and certified on the testing machine that we use, which is a very basic machine actually. And these machines come to us from Presto, and we have to send our machines in every year to be tested and calibrated. Zika, hello, thank you for that follow. I appreciate that. Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? Tango, I have the trifle from Friends cooking. We are making Rachel's famous trifle from Thanksgiving, where she combined the trifle and a shepherd's pie together. A shepherd's pie. Oh, I got information for days. But when it comes to, but I will say this, when it comes, well, anything I cook actually, but I've been in other streamers' shows where they'll say something or they'll do something, and of course I get triggered. I keep my mouth shut. It's not my stream. It's not my stream, and it's not my place to say anything. But mentally, I'm biting my tongue, and I'm having to sit on my hands to stop from typing, because I do see unsafe practices. You know, I do see people washing their chicken in a sink and stuff like that. So I do. It's like, ugh, please don't do that. But anyway, but check with things that I can give you safe. I can give you safe pages for recipes that are tested, and they're tested for safety. The USDA here in the United States doesn't do much testing anymore. 99% of all the testing is done through Georgia University, which is the National Center for Home Food Preservation. Thank you for that follow, Ro. Can do. I'll whisper you here, though. I'm in the Smokies. Oh my gosh. So my husband really wants to go. Really, really wants to go. He's a bluegrass player. He's a banjo player. And He has a Yates banjo. He has a Gibson. I don't notice that he's asleep over in the chair already. Poor dear. We just got home for 4 days. Oh my gosh. I was making baked chicken tenders and had to stop myself from washing. That's right. That's right. Now, mind you, much of my food safety stuff is based on US, okay? So I was like, would Kanara freak out if I did this? And the answer would be yes. Just take a paper towel and just, you know, you can take your chicken out of the original packaging and repackage it. That's what I do. And then you can, if you got pin feathers in it, because sometimes if you buy organic chicken, sometimes you'll get pin feathers and stuff. I can see why they want this to, man, that thing is still really hot on the bottom. What would Kanara do? That's right, what would Kanara do? You know what I want to do? I have an idea, and this is what I use these for if I can find them. This is not it. Oh, is this it? Nope, that's not it. Oh wait, is this it? This is it. These peas are not eating peas. These peas right here we will never eat. These are ice pack peas. They make much better ice pack than the things you can buy because you can kind of form, you know, bend them around stuff. But what I am going to use them for is we're going to kind of create my puppy had the rankest fart ever. The minute they start eating high protein, that's all over from there. It's all over from there. That's an inchly WW. Yes, before you do anything, look down at that bracelet. Are you getting ready to wash your chicken? What would Kanara do? And then it could be a rubber band where you could do this. Snap! That would be a no. Bummed from his bum. I am so bummed. Why are you bummed? It's not like puppy breath? I haven't had a puppy in so long. The last time I had a puppy was Snaggers. She was our pup. She passed away back in 2002, I think it was. Yeah. That was my last puppy. And then we had our ranch cat. Did I tell you guys I thought we had a squirrel in the not the basement, but underneath the house, digging up into the wood and eating? We caught 2 mice. We caught 2 mice. So I'm setting this on here to get some of that coldness to help cool it from the bottom up. Frenchies have the worst gas, and apparently that travels from the cradle to the grave. I wonder why that is. Oh, I bet I know why. I'm gonna, you know what? I hate the internet rabbit hole I can go down, but I'm guessing their digestive tract, their intestinal tract is shorter, and thus doesn't have enough time to go through the bacteria and everything to start breaking it down. Although the fact is, let's face it, poo of any sort is not pleasant. Poo of any sort is not pleasant. They have those huge mouths. Comb, comb, comb. Watch those mice. Yeah. Well, these were under the house, and we caught 2 of them. We heard them scritching in there, and the next day Derek went underneath there and set out 2 traps. Went down a day later. Joy, thank you so much for that follow. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a relaxing Sunday. I hope the Rachel's trifle isn't too cringe-worthy, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I love follows. Now you have a seat at the infinity table, so everybody who follows gets to have a seat at the infinity table. Unlimited seating. You get to pick out whatever chair you want. Just don't pick out the one like Crocs has. Crocs has a beanbag over there. Okay, so this is starting to feel cooler. So this is a quick way to cool this down instead of just sitting it in the refrigerator with a skin on it that would keep this hot for a much longer time. Yeah, because it wants me to set it in the refrigerator for 2 hours. And I'm like, not gonna happen. I'm gonna cool it fast. So I have it sitting on ice, and it wants me to skin it with saran wrap, and then wants me to put it in the fridge for 2 hours. And I know they're doing that so they don't have a skin form. So I thought, well, I'm just gonna stir it, let the heat out, and put it on my peas ice pack. I could put it in some ice. These are my magic peas. But at least now the bottom of the bowl isn't hotter to touch. It's actually just above lukewarm. And then I'll let it finish off in there, and then I'll work on the hamburger. But the cookies, I did eat part of one, Erica. But so I broke up the, look it. It's not focusing. Focus. Kitchen clean, holy cow. Kyle, I know it's a long commute for you to come over here. We're opposite coasties. That would be amazing. So we've made our custard. We tempered the eggs in. I'm just trying to cool it down a little bit. Yeah, they taste really, really good. And since I'm not serving these like lady fingers, I didn't put the powdered sugar on them. They're very, very sweet already though. Not overly sweet. I forgot to say hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? But yeah, people can come in and say hello. Some people come in and just start with the questions. I just like having folks here hanging out, especially on something like this. I need the moral support. And obviously I need the math support too, because I couldn't figure out the lines okay, so I think this, and then 2 cups of, so I have to say this too, Erica, now I'm kind of confused, doing well. Of all my, you know what? He is such a love. So far, he is the only child of a streamer who has made artwork for me to put on my fridge. So if anybody else has kids and you want artwork up on the fridge, send me the artwork. Oh, okay. Potato. I'm just going to call you potato. They called me tater salad. Oh, what is that? Ron White, that was his name. How are you doing today, potato? Happy Sunday to you. We're getting our, Erica, I don't know if my custard's thick enough. I know it'll thicken up a little bit more when it cools down, but this is my custard. It's kind of like a thick pudding. I hope this is sufficient. Custard. Ooh. Okay, Pretzel Rocks, if you're not going to play songs that are decent, you're going to get blocked. This is so yummy. Drowning under, oh my gosh, homework. I feel you on that one. I'm usually always researching or studying something. Okay. So I am going to put some saran wrap on this. This is to keep this from getting a skin. But Erica, so it has me taking 2 cups of heavy whipping cream and whipping it, right? Oh, come on. There we go. That I get. That I understand. But it doesn't have me adding any sugar. Don't you find that kind of odd? Shouldn't whipped cream be kind of sweet? So all I am doing, so you guys can see this, is I'm taking the saran wrap and I'm just holding up the edges and kind of putting it down and forming a skin on top of the custard. So this way, this won't form a natural skin, which can sometimes be tough and leathery. And I'm going to set it on top of my peas inside the refrigerator. And hopefully that will chill. Hopefully. If I had something else, I could put that up inside there. Okay. Oh my gosh, okay. No, Pretzel Rocks, bad. So what kind of homework are you working on, Potato? Are you working on like a particular topic? Those are nice and cool, okay. Just getting some of that custard off my hands. I am hopeful that we have enough of the, so I'm still thinking about rinsing the hamburger in hot water to help remove some of the extra fat from it. I have to leave to grab my embroidery floss. Order from Joann's. You want to get there before they close. You don't want to miss out on that. All right, so now we have to cut up some onion. Guys, Rachel, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for following, hanging out with us. Always wonderful to meet new friends and new family that want to come over here and have some fun. You are welcome anytime. Anytime. So yeah, I'm hoping to get the gaming stream working for the Xbox, and we can do maybe some Tuesday night gaming. You know, we'll do our just chatting streams every now and then. Those will be kind of fun. I'm studying design right now, and I'm stuck on my mapping class. Okay, so does the mapping class have anything to do with drawing 4 lines, lat or long? Anything to do with that? I got people here who can help you. Wilson stepbrother, how are you? How are you? Lovely, lovely to see you. I'm not going to do the whole onion. I'm only going to do half this onion. Only going to do half this onion. Oh, I'm glad you're doing good. You might not be doing good after you see what we're making, but tapioca, don't fall down. Okay, I have to close this like that. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that caught me off guard. I was not expecting that. And did you guys ever watch the TV show Third Rock from the Sun? Wilson, thank you. I need all the help I can get. I need all the help I can get. There was a TV show that was called Third Rock from the Sun, and they're aliens in human, like in a human body, and it wasn't a hysterical joy. I love that show. And the very first episode, the one who's the oldest of the crew actually is the child, the boy in there, but he's actually, in their years, the oldest one, and he's like their science officer or something. But the girl, she's like chief of security and whatever. Anyway, she sneezes. She's like, oh, that was amazing. I want another one. And turns out she has her first human cold. John Lithgow, I know. I've seen John Lithgow play in some pretty heavy movies where he plays like a really bad guy. He was a bad guy, I believe it was in Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone. He was a bad guy in there. And I don't like him so much as the heavy hitter. But as a comedic actor, I think he's hysterical. I think he's just absolutely hysterical. This onion is not quite ripe. That's why it's green on the top. That's all right. We're not gonna stress over it. What's wiggling down here? I'm telling you, this thing is on its last legs. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna move you over there. And that didn't help. I don't want that piece either. All right. I read my name. It's not me, though. Wait, what? Wait, what? That show, I still think, is one of the funniest shows. I got to add a little bit of oil because I'm going to do a little bit of the onions first. Not a lot of oil because it's going to get plenty of fat from the... And the only thing I'm putting on the hamburger is salt and pepper. I'm not going to put anything else on the hamburger. Oh, Rachel's trifle. Okay, so Rachel, did you make a trifle from the book and mix up 2 recipes, an English trifle recipe and a shepherd's pie? Did you do that? Were you the first one to do that? Were you the first one to do that? So I have a funny story. I was told by Matt LeBlanc, who plays Joey. So he says that the trifle episode was more gross than people realized, but here's why. So when they were doing the show and everybody got a plate of trifle, they had like a spoonful of like some pudding on the side, but most of it was just whipped cream. So all they were really eating was just whipped cream. My mom boils down rhubarb very badly. I try to tell her, she calls it harassment. What is she doing? Is she making like a strawberry rhubarb pie? Rhubarb jam is amazing. Rhubarb and blood orange jam is amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. Yeah, keep it simple on the burger. You have to have simple. Sometimes you get too much fancy stuff. Those burgers that are like this tall, those things are redonkulous. You can't eat those things. You know, that's just like, I don't need that kind of. Yeah, let's go with this spoon here. So what Joey had said, what had happened was they were eating the trifle. I forgot to turn on the burner. As they were eating the trifle, and remember they're all sitting around the table, and Monica takes her bite first, and so they're all taking bites. But at the very, very end, you see Joey eating the rest of his trifle. Remember, and he says, custard, good, jam, good, meat, good. And what he had done is that when Ross, who was sitting next to him, had too much whipped cream on his plate, he thought he's never going to get through that. So he took some when Ross was looking. So he took some of it and he scooped it off. Not like when he was looking away, but just like, I'm going to help him out. So he took some off of his plate and put it onto his while they were shooting Ross's scene. But unbeknownst to Matt LeBlanc, what he didn't realize is that when he was turned away, getting direction from somebody else or whatever, Ross was eating some of his, and they said, okay, Ross, do it again. And Ross was like, I can't eat all this whipped cream, and had spit some of it back out onto his plate. Then he turns, and they finish doing his scene. Matt LeBlanc didn't know this, so that David Schwimmer had spit some of the whipped cream out, took that section off, and ended up eating all of that. So yeah, poor Matt LeBlanc for having to go through that. Oh, the Santa Claus movie. I haven't seen that movie in, oh my gosh, ages. Jam, much sugar, lid's not tight. So the interesting part about jam, you can make jam with no sugar. You don't have to have sugar. Sugar is just mainly a flavoring. Sugar is also mainly added because we're adding pectin to get it to solidify, because we don't want to do those long cook times. It can sometimes take 2 to 3 hours to cook jam down to get it to the consistency that we want it to be spreadable. So we have pectin. Pectin acts as a preservative, but pectin needs sugar. They do have a new formula of pectin that's been out for several years now, which is a low to no sugar pectin, which means if you don't want to add any sugar to your jam, but you don't want to do a long cook, you want it to set up the minute it's done processing in the water bath canner, you can use the low to no sugar and then keep your jam at a low sugar ratio.